Hey, this is Kayla with Benchmark, and in today's video I will be giving a walkthrough of FieldGenius Android. This is just a general overview to show the different menus and tools in FieldGenius Android. For more in-depth instructions for certain processes, calculations, or menus, please consult our other videos. I have FieldGenius already open here, and I'm just looking at my projects list. So on the projects menu or list here, I'm able to search through my projects by just putting in a project name. I can also filter projects, and I can restore projects as well. Clicking on a project and then clicking on the little eye in the circle icon, I can bring up some of the details for that project, so I can see what my distance and angle unit were set at, as well as my coordinate and vertical system. Clicking the three dots, I have some options to back up, delete, and restore a project. If I click open, it'll then open that project and it'll take me to the main menu screen. Along the left here, I have some options. So projects, that would take me back to the projects menu. I can check settings, select an instrument, and exit FieldGenius. In the middle here, there are also some options. So I have project data, import, export, reports, calculations, and then I can also go to my survey and staking screens. First, let's take a look at the settings screen. On the settings screen here, I can look at system settings. So this is where I could check the FieldGenius version. I also have units and scale, staking, map tiles, language, interface, sounds, and vibration. If I click the back arrow, it'll take me to the main menu. Now I can look at select instrument, and this brings up a list of all the instrument profiles I have on this data collector. Click the back button. Now let's take a look at project data. So I have some options here of looking at observations, points list, lines, codes, surfaces. I can look at any GNSS local transformations that are set for this project. I have GIS attributes, which is grayed out, and XREFs, so any reference layers I have applied to this project, and any media files. We'll look at import. So you can see if I look at the drop-down menu here, I can see all of the different file types that I can import. And I'll click back to get to the main menu. Take a look at the export menu. Again, there's another drop-down, and I can check all of the different files that I'm able to export. You can look at the reports menu and take a look at what type of reports and the formatting that I can do. Finally, we'll look at calculations here. As you can see, I have quite a few options. I can do an inverse, traverse, line offset, translate, rotate, and scale, volume calculation, inverse point to line, intersections, station offset, area calculation, and geodetic. Back at my main menu now. We'll take a look at the survey screen. So this brings up a screen with a map. I can see for this project I have some points already in here. So on the right hand side I have two options to select an instrument or reconnect to the last instrument I was connected to. Along my bottom toolbar I have the plumb bob, which would take me back to the main menu. I also have some point information, so this would be if I saved a new point, it would be 0.4. There's no codes or line features applied to it. Then to the right of that I have a hand icon pointing. That would be if I wanted to add a manual point. I also have a calculator, so that would bring up my calculations menu. Also have an icon with a square and 4 arrows pointing in towards that square. That's going to kind of zoom the map screen to the extent so that I can see all of my points. And lastly, the icon, it looks like a folded map with a gear. I can change some of the map interface settings, so I can change my base map layer. I can change labels are, so right now it's just with the point IDs. I can expand a menu on the left here by clicking the arrow on the left, bringing up my points list, codes list, any lines applied in this project, any XREF layers, and media files. Now I'm going to click select instrument so that I can connect to an instrument, just so you can see how some of these toolbars and menus change. So I'm connected to an S631 that I just have set as a rover in the office. I've got a fixed solution. So as you can see, there are some different options on the menu here. Hide the right toolbar by clicking the arrow, and it just kind of increases the map screen. Next, the toolbar at the top here gives me some information on my standard deviation for horizontal, vertical, and if I just click on that toolbar, I can also change the information it displays, so I can see my lat and long coordinates, my northing and easting and elevation, as well as some other information there. Along the right, I have a toolbar which has a gear icon, so I can bring up my instrument profile. And if I need to make any changes, I have PDOP, which I can toggle through and see different settings for that. My satellites list, so I can see how many satellites and which constellations I'm looking at. I can change my antenna height, click standard measure, and I can bring up all the different measurement modes. So I have standard measure, auto recording, and an offset measurement. And the RTK fixed button at the bottom right is where I could take a shot. Now let's take a look through the staking screen. I will click the plumb bob to get to the main menu and then click staking. Go to the map screen that looks very similar to the survey screen, except on the left I have my staking list. Along the bottom I have two arrows pointing up and down where I can switch the method of staking to points, lines, and surfaces. If I click the pencil icon in my staking list, I can add and remove points that I want to stake. I will add a couple points, and now I have point 1 selected, and you can see I have a red line showing where I would have to travel to get to point 1. Along the top toolbar, I have the distance in north and west I would have to go, as well as a cut value. In the top right, you can also see I have some different icons. By clicking the square, I bring up a menu showing those distances north and east and fill values. Clicking the rectangle, I can make that menu a bit smaller so that I can still see the map screen. I can also switch between the distance values to give me a bearing and distance. I'll close that by clicking the X. Well, that is everything for today's video on a walkthrough of FieldGenius Android. For more videos like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions, please give us a call at 1-888-286-3204 or visit us on the web at bench-mark.ca.